Hi, everyone. We are here in Amsterdam for Cisco Live 2024, and I'm joined here in the Cisco TV studio by Guillaume Sauvage de Marc, or like we call him here at Cisco, GSM, which is just so much easier to work with. VP of Engineering for Outshift by Cisco. Guillaume, I am delighted that we are finally able to talk with one another today.
Finally, thanks for having me, Steve.
All right, before we dive deep here and drill down, I want to really pull back to the big overview of Outshift. There are a lot of folks still out there in the industry, even our own customers, who either don't follow Outshift or they don't really understand the power of Outshift and what it is that we're doing, how Outshift is leading the market for Cisco. Tell us a little bit about the brand and what it means to the industry today.
Yeah, Outshift is, just to put it simply, is Cisco internal incubation engine, right? So we are really chartered with incubating and bringing products which could be the next big thing for Cisco. So we're not trying to innovate, in the mainstream line of product where our business units are bringing so much innovation constantly, but we are looking into new part of the stack, new type of personas which we want to address. And at the moment, we're primarily focusing on cloud native application security, generative AI, of course, we are going to talk about this.
Sure.
And we're also looking into quantum computing and quantum communications, just to give you a sort of a high-level view of the different things we are after.
Absolutely. This is why I always say that people need to follow Outshift, right? It's not just a drop-in. They have to follow what it is that you're doing.
And we have a newsletter, by the way, which is, so visit outshift.com and then subscribe to the newsletter so you can't miss anything about us.
All right, you heard it here first. Normally we save that for the end. Let's get it at the end as well as the beginning
as a call
to make sure that people are paying attention. It's such a huge topic here throughout the show. We are hearing it in the keynote this morning, and everywhere that we go, what are we hearing? AI, generative AI. Again and again we hear it. What are Outshift's latest advancements in Gen AI that matter most to our users?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so we have a tagline at Outshift, which is tech evolves fast, but we evolve faster.
Love it.
And I can tell you that 2003, probably this year as well, has been very intense for us. So we literally did that. So we got ahead of the curve of Gen AI to deliver a ton of new features and even a new product announced this morning. So we are very proud of this, and maybe I can say a few words about what we are bringing
First
here.
of all, congratulations, and second of all, yeah, please fill us in.
Yeah, so the first thing is we have a brand new product, which is not often, right? It's called Motific AI. And what Motific is really a Gen AI management hub, which enterprise can use to simplify and accelerate their Gen AI adoption and connect with all the different Gen AI providers they want to use in their application. But also, while doing this, it's also enabling enterprise to bring their own data as part of the game, right? Because when you build an agent or when you build a Gen AI app, you want this application to be aware of your own data because it's for your workforce or even for your customers. So that's very important. So we're doing this. And as we do this, it's a classic problem. We do more, but we also have more potential issues to look after.
Of course.
So we're looking after trust and safety, so the potential toxicity, filtering toxicity, or even hallucinations from these models. The other thing we are doing, we'll talk more about this, is there is a pure cybersecurity aspect to it, which we are looking into. And also things like business insights, cost control, ROI. Like, it's actually not that easy for enterprise to adopt Gen AI, and we're really onto a mission to simplify and make it secure and trusted for them to do so.
All right, so one of the things that I always love to look for is core differentiation, right? So often our customers hear, here's what we can do for you. And what they're thinking is, I've heard that story before. Yeah. How do we create that differentiation, that unique story where they say, there, that is what I've been wanting?
Yeah, I think, well, there's multiple ways to answer this, and the product will, hopefully convince customers. You know that at Outshift, we're not just innovating on the technology, but we're also innovating on the go-to-market. So most of our product, including Motific and just like Panoptica, will be available, easily as freemium. So customers can very easily adopt without us in the middle. It's a SaaS services. They go online, they register, and then they start using the product. And they don't need us, in the middle to, decide for themselves whether they want to come back and talk to us more because it's a good product. The other thing I would say is, because we are going higher up the stack, and Outshift, we are really obsessed about the application level. We are kind of cloud agnostic, provider agnostic. This is the same for LLM. So we are not like specializing on, this provider or that provider. we're actually helping enterprise not necessarily put all their eggs in the same basket and keep their API and investment on GenAI open to switching, from one model provider to another, which is very important.
It is, and it's also empowering to the user because again, they're not tied down. So often it's about not only establishing budget, but justifying where the expenditure, justifying where the
100%.
investment is, and all of a sudden that open ability to be able to come in and use it exactly the way your organization wants to do it. So important, right?
Totally, and one of the key features we are working on is helping an organization understand, great, we are launching all these new capabilities, Gen AI based. How does people use this? How does our own workforce, what do they use this for, right? And we have this, really like this prompt intelligence, as we call it, which we are building as part of Motific, which is going to be, I think, very, very interesting, and at the end of the day, also a differentiator.
Absolutely. I want to drill in a little bit more on the Panoptica product specifically.
Yes.
How does Gen AI protection make Panoptica a better product, a better performing product?
Yeah, so that's a great question again. So, excuse me, with Panoptica, so we're coming with, so Panoptica is not a new product, but we're coming with a lot of new capabilities. So the name of the game with Panoptica is protect your application. You're deploying an application in the cloud. You don't have to worry about the infrastructure security because usually, the cloud provider will do this for you. But you have everything you deploy on top. Your application is entirely on you to secure. So that's where Panoptica is helping you. Your cloud posture, your workloads, your API security, all of this. So now with these applications rapidly adopting GenAI, it's great, but it's also increasing the surface of attack. Same story again, right? So we thought it was very important for Panoptica to add this new risk engine, which is LLM security. And it's going to factor with all the other risk engine and come to the attack path, which is the key feature. So when you scan your entire application surface, you end up with a lot of alerts, a lot of risk. And the killer feature we have to really simplify and help you prioritize where you need to fix things is this attack path. Plausible successions of vulnerabilities which an attacker could use to get in and access into your perimeter. So now we'll have GenAI completely part of this attack path analysis, and yes, it's going to be really important with the GenAI adoption we see at the moment.
Let's personalize it. You are talking to customers every single day. You are hearing how they are putting Panoptica to great use right now.
Yes.
Give us one of your favorite recent personal stories that you've heard from a customer who said, oh, this is what I wanted, this is what I needed. You listened, you delivered for us.
Yeah, so absolutely. So typically when we engage with customers, part of this is them interested in the product, but part of this is also us literally coaching them on what I just call the surface of attack, because sometimes, most of the time, customers are, and we had so many discussions like this, customers are aware of some of the potential risks, but they don't see the full picture. And when you connect Panoptica just reveal this to you, right? So automatically will let you be aware of things which you had even no idea, which are potential risks. And in the case of GenAI, I think it's interesting because a lot of customers are like, yeah, I'm just going to send prompts, and I'll get answers, and this will be part of my nice, for instance, assistant application. They don't really understand that prompts are potentially, vectors for cyber attacks. Yes. And that's really where we are positioning Panoptica and the LLM security. So I can give you an example. Mm-hmm. There is something which is familiar in the industry, which is called SQL injection, which is like you're going to use an API, and instead of doing a legitimate use of the API, you're going to literally inject through the API a piece of code. It could be script, it could be SQL, doesn't matter, which is going to actually, break into your app, either disrupt it or make your application do something which you really don't want your app to do, like, give you confidential information about another user, another customer, or simply, break the business rule of your app. So now with GenAI, what we have to do is look at similar type of problem, except that it's not a piece of SQL injection we are looking for. We're looking for a sentence, a prompt, natural language, which you pass to the model, and which could actually trigger the model to produce by itself such an SQL attack. So we have to go one level up into understanding the semantic of what the prompt is about, to understand if it's actually nefarious, if it's trying to do something bad. And there are many, many examples of that. And so, sometimes we say, fight fire with fire. So we're actually using GenAI technologies for that. So GenAI is being protected by GenAI type of models to its natural language processing, including prompts. So when we inspect prompts, we're actually applying GenAI to understand if the prompt is legit or if it's trying to extract something bad from the system.
Wow. All right, so now is the time. I mean, I always like to end by saying it is the perfect time. Once more, how can people connect with the newsletter and more with what Outshift is doing?
Very simple. Yeah. For anyone attending Cisco Live in Amsterdam this week, please come and visit us. We're on booth D10 in the middle of World of Solution. You cannot miss us. And one more time, outshift.com, sign up for our newsletter, and you'll see all the new product. And you'll have the brand new motific.ai link, so with this new product, which we are announcing today, and which will be available in June. And anything we do comes with a lot of security across Panoptica, across Motific. So keep following us, and we'll come up with much more on the course of this year.
I love it. Congratulations to you and the entire team. I love what Outshift is doing, what everybody in your group is doing. Guillaume, thank you for taking time to come in. I know it's a busy week.
Thank you,
I'm
Steve.
glad we had this conversation. It is always a pleasure to be with you and with anyone at Outshift. And once again, to all of you, thanks so much for joining us here in the segment.